All right. Good evening, everybody. It is the 10th of February 2023, and this is Friday in India, 5 p.m. And this is the second week in the Chennai Storytelling Festival. And I'm very excited to see so many of you, some old faces, some whom I already knew. Hi, Manjari. I've seen you before. And I'm excited to make new friends here as well. I can see only few tiles in the screen. So a little bit about myself. Eric, can I just give a brief introduction about myself?
Of course, please do.
Okay, just a little bit about myself. The next 90 minutes of your time is going to be with me. So it's fair that you know who you're going to be with, right? So I come from Mumbai, but I'm a Tamilian, which means that I come from the southern part of India, which is called as Tamil Nadu. And I speak the language and I also speak the national language of the country, which is Hindi, and the official language English. My journey in the field of dance started off as a dancer, Bharatanatyam dancer, and my interest spiked in the field of dance movement therapy when I myself felt or enjoyed the therapeutic benefit of dance as therapy. And so far, so forth, right now, I practice dance movement therapy as a practitioner. I practice dance movement therapy as a practitioner and I'm an integrative counselor, a body-based counselor. And I also co-found an organization called Tunai Trust, which Eric was just mentioning about. This is an organization which is taking baby steps towards awareness of psychological trauma, trauma through abuse, and intergenerational trauma. It's baby steps because the concept is still a new in India, and we are trying to make some impact by joining hands with like-minded organizations. And that's one of the ways why Eric and I connect as well, because we had Eric do a wonderful session, storytelling session. It was very, very well received for Tune as well. So let's start today session by I'm just going to I have very few slides, and I have made slides only of the words that I really want you to take away with. So I'm just going to be using them very, very sparsely. I just need one person to unmute and say if you're able to see what I'm showing you.
Yeah, we can see.
All right, thank you. So when I start this workshop, I have two choices. One is I can think, what do I say? How do I say it? How am I going to make sense to these 18 people? Not many are in video. How do I look? Do they understand what I say? And it's like, and it just keeps going on and on and on and on, right? That's one way. And that's a way when what we know as, Smita, you're overthinking it, right? The thinking. So, in other words, what it is that, just to break it down, I am, or my thinking brain is pushing my feeling brain, the back, pushing it and giving extra hours of work and force feeding the feeling brain to adjust, to get sensitized, to become more aware, etc., etc., etc. Right? This is exactly what could be option A, or the second option could be where I can realize that there is a bit of numbness right now because I'm excited, little bit nervous. Just breathe, allow my body to feel the emotion, witness it, acknowledge it, and move on. And today's workshop is going to be all about that. We live in a world that manifests, perceives, thrives, grows, and creates a big image, and all is all in our minds. The internet, the speed of the internet mimics human thought, right? For 2 minutes, if the internet slows down, children in our house get dysregulated, we get dysregulated. Oh my God, we are used to the fastness, to the speed. It's all in our heads, it's all in our mind. But the truth is that every body tells and holds a story. The story is much in the body. Even if a person is chair bound, restricted in movement, cannot move, does not wish to move, even then, there is something always going on in the body which is always wanting to communicate and make a point. Every human body is telling a story. And once we begin to understand this, dance and movement is just another way of expressing the story and maybe even rewriting the narrative. I hope I have kindled all of the curiosity, because how can one rewrite the narrative with the body? How is this going to happen? Well, today, at the end of 90 minutes or even less, when you walk out of this workshop, I really aim that this workshop enables you to make a connection of awareness and expression, or what I call as the ACE model for body as the aid. And the second objective is to take a little sneak peek on how we can foster resilient bodies and minds while expressing and telling our stories as individuals, as practitioners and therapists, trying to enable our clients, and as parents of children and caregivers. So the workshop today, I have at least attempted that the workshop today should tries to address at three layers. One, as making sense of it as individuals, applying it in your body, your expression, your awareness. And as practitioners, by understanding it as a tool, embodying it yourself and enabling your client and mirroring it for your client, teaching it to your client as a tool. And the third, as parent and caregivers, again, to embody it in yourself. A resilient parent raises resilient children, right? I didn't say it. Experts have said it. I'm just borrowing it from them. As parents and caregivers, when we embody these concepts, we encourage resilient individuals to thrive and not just survive. What does this quote mean to all of you? You can type your responses on the chat. We are not built to live in survival mode. Our bodies need safety and our brain need rest. What does this mean to people here? Go slow, breathe, enjoy, Poonam says. Yes. Anybody else? Our bodies are not manufactured to survive, but to live, not always in fight mode. I like that, Darshana. Jargons and the right one. Right. The beauty of pause. Oh, lovely. Brain behaves like a sponge. Squeeze it out. Nice. Pretty Pathak. That was nice. Squeeze it out. Okay. All right. Excellent, 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 excellent responses. And thank you for that. But before I actually jump into this and talk about it, I, I I I really like to lead workshops with a bit of awareness of the self in our bodies. So I'm going to encourage all of you to participate with me. There are 22 people here on the list. So this is what I call as the long exhale. And the long exhale is very simple. All we do is we inhale for 4 counts in your own time, and we exhale for 6 counts again in your own time, right? And let's try and stay with this. We'll try to do this 3 times, right? And I'm going to put on a little bit of music. Eric, you can hear this? All right. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And as you inhale, see if you can slow your thoughts. Bring your awareness to the feelings inside of your body. Feel the abdomen go down. Feel the chest move up. Is the chest taking an extra breath as you inhale? And what's happening outside of the body? How does your skin feel? And whenever you're ready, join us back. Thank you all for participating in the long exhale. This is just to center all of us and bring us back, or bring us here to this platform where all of us are going to witness the workshop together. Thank you, Revati. Thank you so much. All right. We are not built in our bodies to survive and be in the survival mode, and our bodies need safety, our brain needs rest. Um, have you ever watched this movie called The Devil Wears Prada, right? Anne Hathaway's. We all have seen it. I can see Revati giving me a thumbs up. So there's this dialogue in which Nigel says to Anne Hathaway, where he tells her that when your life goes up in smoke, time for your promotion. That's exactly how we live our lives. We are constantly running the mill. We are constantly manifesting the next 30 seconds. So we essentially don't live the 30 seconds or in the present. We are all the time thinking 30 seconds in advance. All professions, across all professions, even as therapists, as practitioners, as mothers, as fathers, we are always on deadlines, not timelines, but deadlines. There are jargons called end of day, ASAP, be right back. There is an immediacy. The fulcrum of all of it is in the action. We are doing, do, 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 do. And once you're done, again, do, do, do. It's the next. The fulcrum of existence is always in the action, in doing. we need to essentially take a break. We plan to take a break when we would relax. And all of this causes stress and anxiety. And then we end up going to a shrink to talk, get counseled and say, I'm not feeling well. Yeah, nothing is happening. I don't know what's happening inside of me. Right? You all, I can see a lot of heads nodding. All of you are with me. Yeah. The internet is mimicking the brain in terms of its fastness. Anything that is physical is draggy. Effort, so much effort to go down the lift and go for a walk. Drop my child. Go on your own. All of this leads to stress and anxiety. And what we do to keep us away from the stress and anxiety, the focus is on do. What we do to keep away from the focus, from this stress and anxiety, the focus is on do, is distraction. We binge watch, we binge eat, we go for holiday. It is all on the do action. The focus is distraction, and it is never, most of the time, never expression. How many times did we tell ourselves, I'm not feeling right? I want to talk to myself, sit with myself and sort this out. If you're doing it, great. And if you're not doing it, I'm here to tell you how to get started. I can see some smiles and it really is very exciting. Expression needs the first thing to kickstart awareness of the self. The self. When I say the self, what I'm saying is acknowledgement of the body as an existential being, having needs, having a set of actions, thought process, and the kind. I have done this many times in workshops. So what I do is, especially when we are talking about the self, I ask this question about 3 people whom you love. List out 3 people whom you love. And often, most often, 99.9% of the time, people end up writing the names of their children. Some even write their dog's name. Some people write their spouse, parents. It takes a lot of determination for you to say, okay, wait, I first love myself. Now that is the self that I'm talking about. Acknowledgement of the self as an existential being, as a person. Awareness of the body is the awareness of it as a state of being, and awareness of the feelings in the body. And once there is an awareness, there is a certain, I would say there is a high chance of making a change, of existing and surviving to thriving and relaxing, aka living. There's a moment of pause in all your expression. Does this mean that you are in between this? Yeah, is this an aha moment? You think, I was just thinking about this, Smita, right? I do it too. I do it too. So I'm just going to take you all on a story trip. Okay, and for this, I'm going to invite you all to close your eyes as you listen, and you may choose to keep your cameras on because you're just going to be closing your eyes, all of us. Why am I asking you to close your eyes? Is because we are so used to this amazing sensory stimulation, multiple sensory stimulation. So we are attuned to lose focus every time we are even wanting to be mindful. Therefore, I am requesting you all to close your eyes as you are going to participate. And feel free to use your hands, your body, your legs to mirror the quality of any physical movement that you'll be hearing of our character called Nero. It's going to take just about a minute or a minute and a half. So when I say quality of movement, so when I say walk, you don't have to literally walk, but you can mirror the quality in terms of with your hands, with your legs, or just feel the walk, right? However you're comfortable. Now let's begin with the story. This is a story trip. Wow, that's a lovely name. Eric, we should make a story trip. Next, that should be the next thing to do, I think, after workshop. Story trips, that would be lovely. All right. So this is about Nero, a little curious ant who was marching and marching and marching in the same line along with his friends while getting home after a hectic day of work. But something on the ground seemed to shine. Is it sugar? He thought. So off he went off his course towards the shiny bit on the ground. But the thing was, every time he went closer to the shiny thing, it moved a few inches away. He again walked closer. It again moved a few inches away. He again walked closer and it again moved a few inches away. And now he paused to think, is this some kind of trick that somebody's playing on me? Eh? Just then, he felt the ground shake so strong. The little ant looked frantically around to spot his line of ants marching home. Off he ran back to the line to join them back. And only when he joined his line back did he feel a sense of calm. Ah, that speck was not worth it, he thought. And he just went about in his line, marching one by one, and the ants go marching one by one. Thank you all for participating. Please join us back. You can open your eyes now. Okay, quickly on the chat, what happened to your bodies when the ground started shaking? What happened? Which part of your body made a connection with it? Something happened. Upper body. Okay. Thank you, Priyanka. You felt the tremor, didn't you? Because I could see you making those gestures, right? Upper body. Yes. One of the reasons why it is the upper body is that we have practically made the lower body immobile by sitting on a chair, but that's okay. That happens with virtual sessions. Okay, I have some nice sharings. Hips and lower body. Excellent. Thank you, Lisa. There was an involuntary movement of the feet. Yes. High five on that, Preeti. Yes. Completely agree. Yes. What happened when your bodies participated was that you connected with Nero's struggle. Did you feel that? Eyes wanted to open. I saw that, Gustav. I saw you doing like that, thinking if there's going to be an end to the story soon enough. Is Nero going to reach back or is he going to die? We all connected with Nero. We all connected with the emotion of the sense of urgency, the sense of fright and flight. The visualization happened easily. It was like reading a book, feeling it, living in it, being a part of the story. My friends, the body is manufactured to feel first. Feel first is a factory setting of a human body. When I say feel first, what I am trying to articulate is feel first, think maybe or later. The body feels first and it feels, the feeling stays. The feeling stays to ensure which is your acknowledgement and acceptance. And after that, it regulates. So the feeling of urgency while participating with Nero and marching one by one was a feeling that you felt first. You did not think about if it's going to go back or is Nero going to survive, but you participated in the urgency and you could embody the feeling of urgency. Is everybody with me or anybody who did not make the connection with Nero here? Yes, thank you. I can see Sarah and Preeti nod. Yeah, thank you. Awareness is the first stage of making a change in emotion. And I remember that the first workshop that I did. This is my third workshop with storytelling with CSF, I think. And I remember the first workshop was about dance movement therapy, and this was about every action has a change of action has a change in emotion, right? And I would really like to bring back that concept and say a change of action definitely almost always has a change in emotion. And this is something which all of us can relate with. To give you a very small example, when we are, when, so in, there's this age old custom, at least in Indian tradition, in Indian culture, where you go with the problem to your parent and the parent says that, okay, fine, do one thing, just go out for a walk and come. So basically, parenting experts will say that, that is diminishing the emotion, nullifying it, and all of that. Yeah, probably yes. I'm not going into this into the nitty gritties of it, but what the parent is essentially saying is, when I take a walk, I feel better, so just go do it. And then if you're still not okay, come back, we'll talk. Right? So in the West, there's this concept where they say that we need to talk, which means that the parents sit and listen. Yeah, sleep over it. Yes. Right. Which is markedly different from what happens, at least in the Indian culture. Things are changing, but I'm just talking about a variation in culture. So when we go with a problem and say that, you know what, Ma, I'm not feeling all right. I just think I'm feeling a little down today. And like, okay, sleep. After 15 minutes, drink one cup of tea, you will be all right. A change of action almost always has a change in emotion. That's the hook. But to do that effectively, my friends, is the key of awareness. I'm going to share my screen because this is something I would really like to share with all of you. In the Natya Shastra, I am a dance Bharatanatyam artist, and Natya Shastra and Abhina Dharpanam are two texts that we call as the fifth Veda, or the Natya Shastra is called the fifth Veda. So there are four Vedas that is written, and Natya Shastra is the fifth Veda, which is about performing arts, and it just encompasses so many variations of life and entertainment. So one of the shlokas from here, I'm just going to read it out to all of you. It says, Yato hasta tato drishti, meaning eye, sight, tato manaha, consciousness, mind, feeling, yato manaha tato bhava, and yato bhava tato rasaha. And rasaha is the aesthetic expression. Now, I'm just going to break it down simple. I will do my best to explain this. So, where the physical action goes, the eye or any sensory perception, visual perception follows. This is your spatial connection, spatial awareness, and self awareness. Placement of self with respect to others. This is basic kinesiology, which we are all born with, body intelligence. But we forget as we grow. We forget this. This intelligence we forget to use once we grow. So where the physical action goes, the eye follow, the sensory perception follows. And where the sight is, the mind lies there, which means that if I'm looking at something, I need to focus my thoughts. And once there is a success of focus, My feelings will naturally come towards it or towards the action. And when all of it come together, this perceived sense of expression, feeling, is in the real sense where expression occurs. Yato hasta tato drishti tato manaha, yato manaha tato bhava, yato bhava tato rasa. The key word is rasa. Rasa means aesthetic expression. Now, is everybody with me on this? People who don't understand the language as well. Okay, great. I got a nod from Gustavo. So I'm thinking. So you're here and there. Okay. Okay. So I just tried to break it down. So where the hand or where the action goes, the eye follows, and where the eye goes, the mind will follow what it perceives and sees. And when there is a mind, there is a feeling. From feeling, you have expression, right? So the point to note here is, what is the succession of events? The first focus is on the physical action. What the body is moving, the movement. Thinking comes later. Awareness of the quality of movement in our bodies and understanding what it can do is key to expression. So the ACE, what I said at the start, the objective, the A is your awareness, which is leading to expression. We as babies learn this. See, so we all see this across, it's globally. When a baby's bum is wet, it's going to cry. So the physical perception is challenged. Then there is a thought process, oh, it's uncomfortable, let me cry. The physical perception of hunger precedes the thought process, oh, something is happening and my tummy is empty. This is exactly how we are born with. We are born primal with body feels first, and the thought process kicks in later when we make sense of it. Sukrita, are you with me on this? Yeah?
Yes, but I have a question which I'll ask you later whenever you want me to.
Very glad to answer that. Very glad to answer that. So
Okay.
I'll probably take you through our experience now, okay? And if it still doesn't answer, then, right? So here's what I would ask all of you to do. And we're not breaking out into rooms now, breakout rooms. That sounds very sad. Break out with rooms. All right. So we're going to get into an experience where all of us are going to be present in this room. And I'm going to stop share. What I'm going to request all of you is again to close your eyes if possible and bring your awareness to any one of your hands. Any one of your hands. If you can join me, you can close your eyes. Bring your awareness to any one of your hands. Where are you placing it? Bring your awareness onto where you're placing it. What is the hand's position in space and with your body? Now, let's try to move the hand and the fingers or fingers, it's up to you, in 5 different ways. How can you move your hand or your fingers or hands and fingers in 5 different ways? Any 5 patterns. Once you've found your 5 patterns, try moving them on a loop, like a sequence. the same 5 movements of your hand in a loop. And when you've explored these patterns of movement with one hand, try to mimic the same loop with the other hand. And see if both the hands are moving in sync. How does it feel? Making those new movements. How does it lie in the space and the body? Once you're done with it, please join us back whenever you're done. So how did it feel to create new movement patterns with your hands? How did it feel? Type it out on the chat box. How was it? Making new movement patterns, repeating on a loop. They're beautiful. Felt beautiful, Priyanka, because you're doing something new, slowing down time. It was was it an awareness that we had to concentrate? Yes, absolutely. Priyanka, so the question is for you. So was there of course there was no sense of urgency. You dance with your hands. Yes, Gustavo. Yeah, one could sense the pattern. Yes. So the question, Priyanka, is when you say beautiful, the beauty is because you felt that your hands could do something new, or there was a pattern. What was the beauty in it?
Um, well, Smita, am I audible?
Yeah, of course.
So we are Homo sapiens. What I felt was Manav means someone who can create with hands.
Ah,
So that's the
thank you so much.
beauty of being human.
Absolutely, completely agree. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is my C. The creativity, awareness, and a good amount, well done awareness, almost naturally has a successive partner, and that is creativity. You can move it this way and it feels good. We tried this. Maybe, okay, that's wonderful, yeah. Together, it's a dance. It may sink, it may not sink. Precision and correction is not the point. The point is connection. Making a connection. Now, as a dance and movement therapist, I teach dance and movement therapy as a tool to uh, work with children and young adults. And one of the people that I like to talk about is Mary Whitehouse, an authentic movement therapist and a Jungian analyst. So, what she says is repeated, unchanged patterns of movement reflect a person's true, genuine sense of self. Hint, hint, awareness. We just spoke about it. Understanding, understanding one sense of self is essential every aspect, physically, emotionally, and in relation to time and space. So if I have to give you an example, I'm just thinking of, so Wednesday Adams was a popular series on Netflix. Was it, or was it an Amazon Prime? I'm not quite sure. Wednesday Adams. Wednesday, right? The so in that, the Wednesday Adams, the protagonist, she has a complete sense of self, of her dark side, of her dark sense of humor, of her dark preferences, right? That is a having, and that connects, isn't it? All children of that age group, all youngsters that I see, they all want to be Wednesday Adam, and they all want to do this dance where she goes this way and that way, making no connection and feeling. But you see, she has complete sense of connection with her sense of self, which is why when I look at her dance, it is so catchy because I want to mimic that state, which is why children and youngsters today are easily able to mimic Wednesday Adams. They want to be the protagonist. Also, the visual media is very catchy, but when as individuals, so this can work two layers, or rather, all the three layers is when we as individuals become aware of this pattern of awareness, it naturally pushes us to the successive partner called creativity. And as practitioners and caregivers of, or as parents, when we have this awareness of the client's pattern of movement, what it helps us is it gives us a window of what kind of feeling, what kind of thought patterns is going on with the client, with your child, and probably it will encourage you to model a better sense of being, a better state of emotion with your body, with your speech, with your empathy, with your support. Again, this is creativity in practice, right? So, awareness and creativity, everybody is with me, right? So, I'm just going to ask you all to participate again, and you can choose to get off the chair or you can continue sitting depending on um, your comfort. I'm choosing to sit only because I want to be audible. And this is a virtual setup, so I need to talk. So which is why I'm sitting. But otherwise, if you want, you can. So the thing is, what we need, what I would really like you all to participate is choose any one daily activity that you are comfortable embodying and showcasing here. It could be washing, cutting, cleaning, cooking, washing dishes, etc. Whatever that you would want to do, dressing up, right? Right? And in your own time, I'm going to ask you to speed up this one particular activity to 1, 2, and 3. Can we do that very quickly? Any activity. So I'm just going to be embodying something that I do very on a daily basis, which is cooking, right? So suppose I want to embody cooking, I just embody the action, you know, right? Can we all do that? Any one daily activity, anything. Yeah, you can switch off your cameras if you're not comfortable doing it on the camera, but do come back and join us, right? Right. And now speed it up to 1, 2, and 3, 3 being the highest speed. Speed it up, speed it up, speed it up, speed it up. Yeah. Now from 3, slow it down to back to 1. Now let's go -1. Really slow it down. Now as you slow it down, how would you do the same activity, whatever you're doing, when you're sad? Same activity. How would you do it when you're embarrassed? How would you do it when you're shy? What happened when you changed the feeling? What happened when you changed the feeling? Something happened. I could witness it. You could unmute, you could type it on chat. What happened when you changed the feeling? It was challenging, right? The action changed. Yeah,
Face
absolutely.
change.
Gustavo, can you repeat that?
Face changes.
Yes, the speed of doing
Gestures.
it changed. Yes,
The the sense of doing it changes.
absolutely. Tears were ready when sad. Action and feeling were woven like a wrap. I love it. I love that. Mood change. Yes. Body experiences a calmness. Yes. So we spoke of awareness. We spoke of creatively engaging with your awareness being a natural succession. Now, by using the body creatively, we have now experienced expression. And that having the ability to change and make a change from a state of sadness or dysregulation, using psychological term, to a state of being regulated. This is a tool. This is an amazing tool to have. Where am I in the ACE spectrum with my body, with my mood, with my thought? Body goes first. Where am I in the ACE? Okay, I'm at an A. Jump to my creative pattern, jump to my change in expression. What a wonderful tool to teach a child. What a wonderful tool to teach a client. It's so easy for them, and all we're doing is encouraging them to become self-aware. And that is the first thing that we do in any therapeutic setup, in any, I think self-awareness should be the first thing that we teach our children. Where the head, shoulder, knees, and toes, it is basically about body awareness. We actually do teach children that. We teach our children about what's your name, identity, awareness. We have just forgotten to feel what it is to be in our bodies. And we successfully transmit the same forgetfulness to our children. When they grow up as adults, they also get disconnected with the body because they don't see us being connected. They always see a dysregulated amma, dysregulated dad, right? All the time running the mill. So it's very easy for them to manifestate that. Imagine doing this to yourself as an individual when you are going through a difficult situation. When the boss has been like really, you had a bad argument at work, you come back and your kid goes, Amma, tomorrow I have to submit project. Where were you? What were you doing all these days? Last moment you're coming and telling me all this. I'm not going to help you. It's okay. That's okay. Becoming aware about what's happening to your body. My breath is going very, very fast, which is causing me to take shorter breaths, and I'm not able to calm myself down. Awareness, creatively engaging yourself. Maybe I should go after all, take that walk, which my mother has always been telling to change my emotion. Come back and express differently. The ACE in action. Easy to do, easy to teach, easy to model. I can see all of you going, yes. So I'm thinking this is a moment of complete agreement to what we are doing. Now, I am going to take it a little bit further. Any thoughts? Any thoughts about what we have done? Or should I just leave you all with what you are? What if the moment is frantic, like the one I do every day? I arrive and I cannot put. Why am I not able to read this?
To open the door. It's too
Ah,
dark. Door. I can't open the door.
hmm. So that's an everyday thing, right? So how would you see yourself in the A as C and the E? What is your awareness to your body at that time? When you say, I read the word frantic, right?
Yes.
So when you say
Yes.
frantic, I'm imagining in my head that you're doing or doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you slow it down?
Yes. I tried. Sometimes it works very much better. If I just calm down and just put the key exactly in the place, and the keys has to be like that and not like that. And
That's
you
your
put it,
creativity. That's your
yeah,
creativity where you're saying like this and like that and making all the alterations. And the expression is, the door is open. I got this. I can do this again.
yes, true.
Hey, thank you for sharing that. That was really interesting for me. Let's take a step further, delve a little deeper, and let's talk about we spoke a lot about the awareness, the creativity, the expression, the ACE. So by becoming aware of our physical and emotional states and by supporting this awareness with creativity, we all as human beings, practitioners, parents, individuals can teach resilience. Is that a known word? Resilience is a known word. Heard it somewhere. So what is resilience? Bounce back. Absolutely, Priyanka. Bounce back. The ability to be ready to embrace the unknown. And that's when you're going to be ready to bounce back. I didn't say this. Dr. Ariel Schwartz says this in her book on post-traumatic post growth after PTSD. And she quotes where she says that resilience is ultimately what allows us to embrace the unknown. The elasticity of tolerance increases our elasticity of tolerance. I got this. And today we're going to be experiencing how we can do this using stories and how we can do this in our work as parents, embodying our own stories and stories that we hear as witnesses or we are exposed to, exposes our bodies to new and unusual and uncomfortable movement patterns. Let me give you an example. Uh, while you're seeing a movie, right, and the protagonist is very upset and angry, or she's probably there is a loss and she's crying, and naturally the tears start coming. Those are your mirror neurons acting with the protagonist, which trying to intertwine the feelings and feeling bad, right? So I always cry when I see that movie, Marley and Me. I always cry. I always have tears coming out all the time by the time it ends, and I'm choking, right? All of this happens. This is your mirror neuron regulating, making a connection. All right answers. But what it is also doing is it is exposing our body, exposing our movement patterns to unusual and uncomfortable feelings, which we may or may not want to witness on a day-to-day level. These are raw, underdeveloped, underutilized emotions, and they set the stage for greater resilience. And I'm going to do this with all of you. We're going to get into an activity. So if you see, admit, so many admits. Okay. All right. So the I already spoke about the Natya Shastra. So there's another text called the Abhinaya Darpanam. In that thing is that there is a classification called the Ashtanayikas, or the heroines, the 8 types of mental states of heroines. Right, Eric, you are quite aware about this, right? I think we spoke about this a few years back, right? So if you can see this, what happens here, you can see the Vasaka Saja, that is the one who is dressed in waiting for her partner. And there is Kalahantarita, the one who is separated because of having a quarrel, right? And Virahod Khandita is one who's distressed by separation. So these are 8 patterns now. So I'm not going to ask you, and we're not going to learn much about it. What I'm going to encourage you to do is probably go through these possible states of the human mind: grief, staying away. What would the body pattern of a woman who had just had a quarrel with her partner be? Think about it. Kalahantarita. What would be her body pattern? Probably she's going to be showcasing it with her eyes. She's not wanting to make eye contact. She's going to feel agitated in her body. All of these are possibilities. Virahot Khandita, Kannagi, Eric's muse, I must say. What was Kannagi's feeling when she was enraged with anger and also distressed by separation with her husband? What was her feeling? Thought process. What must have happened in her body? The cue here that I would want to bring up is embody the feeling in order to witness emotions that we do not generally confront with. Now, there are 2 reasons for this. Number 1, it just makes you really creative, builds your resilience, ready to bounce back. West Priyanka, she said that, ready to bounce back because you have already felt it in your body. And the second, you have a lived experience of that situation and the feeling. Your body keeps the score. Your body now knows resilience. And the moment we apply the ACE, we are naturally encouraged to be resilient to feelings and emotions. So let's get into an activity very quickly. Eric, can we divide everybody into groups now? We'll break into groups. And 2 in each room. And there are only few participants on camera. The remaining I can't see them. So I leave the judgment to Eric. So what I really would request you to do is, once we break into groups, one person can embody any character's mental state. It could be Snow White, it could be Alice, it could be Cinderella, it could be any heroine, any movie protagonist, right? It could be anybody. One person embodies the feeling of this protagonist, and the other person just witnesses and watches. And the person who's witnessing and who's watching, pay attention to what is happening inside of you when you are witnessing this person expressing. Yeah, sounds very doable. Yes, no, yes. All right, excellent. I'm so happy to see all of you. You're here there, Sarah. Okay. Right, I would
Any
to be a witness.
literary character character, any literary character.
Character, any movie character. The idea is to embody their emotional state, feeling in the body. Right? All right. So you can all be put in groups. Eric, thank you for that. Thank you for your support for that.
Yes, now, there are 18 people in the session, but only 7 of us have our cameras on. If you'd like to go into a room and do this activity, please turn on your camera. Because I'm not putting people in rooms if their camera is off. Very good, thank you, Renu. So again, Smita, the activity is that one participant moves like a certain character?
Yes, that's right. And the other witness. So essentially 2 people in a room.
Mm-hmm.
2 people in a room.
Okay, well, we have, you and I will stay in the main room, I think.
All
And
right.
then we have 3 rooms.
All right.
Mm-hmm. So one person embodies that character at a certain time in the story, right? At a certain moment.
Absolutely. Yes.
And the other one,
Embodies the character, the feeling, the sensation in the body. It could be just a dialogue. It could be Alice getting down the rabbit hole as well. Anything. It could be Cinderella at the moment when it's 12 and the clock is the 12th gong is going to go. Whatever it is, you say this to the witness and then you embody it. And the witness needs to just be a witness of their bodies, what's happening inside of them as they are viewing.
so we're looking for the quality of movement of the character.
Yes.
Okay, so one person does that and the other one witnesses for a minute or two, and then they switch roles. Is that correct?
You can switch roles, but if you are not certain, it's up to you. I completely,
Yeah,
it's
let
totally
one
yours.
person be the mover.
Sure, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Turns.
altogether, this is now it'll be for about 6 minutes, 7 minutes. We only have 17 minutes left in the
Right. Or
session.
just about, just about 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes, Eric, not more than that.
Okay, so each one does a few minutes. Okay, here we go. I'm opening the rooms. So now I'm going to stop. I'm going to put the recording on pause.